Here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We're gonna go get started now. If you could please take a seat. Thank you again. Thank you all for coming. If you could all take a seat, please. Thank you. Thank you. And we're going to go ahead and get this started with TriMet General Manager Sam DeSue.
Okay, let me just test the mic. I think everyone can hear us. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right. What an exciting group of people here this morning, and thank you for being here today. Today is an exciting day for TriMet and our region as we continue to make our community a better place to live. I am honored to welcome a special guest, Nuria Fernandez, the Administrator of the Federal Transit Administration. This is Nuria's first trip to the Portland region as the 15th Administrator of the Federal Transit Administration. Nuria was confirmed by the United States Senate on June 10th after serving as the Deputy Administrator since January. She previously served as the FTA Administrator during President Clinton's administration. Administrator Fernandez has more than 35 years of experience as an inspiring leader in the transportation industry, serving at some of the busiest transit agencies in America. We appreciate Administrator Fernandez as well as the FTA Region 10 Administrator Linda Gerke, who's here with us. Thank you for joining us today. I would also like to acknowledge the support and commitment of many of our TriMet partners, many of whom are with us today. Among them are Portland Transportation Commissioner Joanne Hardesty, Port of Portland Executive Director Curtis Robinhole, and Washington County Commissioner Nafisa Fai. Also want to acknowledge the Oregon Congressional Delegation in Washington, D.C., some of whose staff are here with us today, along with Governor Brown and our local and state lawmakers. Among them are our friends at Metro, including Metro Council President Lynn Peterson, Metro Councilors Shirley Craddock, Councilor Carlos Gonzalez, and Councilor Mary Nolan. Also would like to acknowledge Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler. Thank you for joining us. And Hillsboro Mayor Steve Calloway, a longtime friend of TriMet and supporter of transit. Also want to recognize some of our other partners, including Oregon Department of Transportation, along with Region 1 Manager Ryan Wensheimer, and Portland Parks and Recreation, along with Friends of Gateway Green and Northwest Trail Alliance. I would like to recognize Sean Donahue from C-Tran, President CEO. I would like to recognize Chris Warner, Director of Portland Bureau of Transportation. I would also like to acknowledge Dr. Linda Simmons, TriMet Board President, and also other members of the board that's here with us today. And I would also like to acknowledge all of our TriMet leadership that's here with us, employees. Thank you for your support and efforts. Today, TriMet takes this moment to say to you, Administrator Fernandez, as well as the FTA and the U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, thanks a million, or rather, nearly 100 million. A few days ago, the FTA awarded TriMet $99.9 million for the project that will transform our Max Red Line and have a cascading effect, improving the overall light rail system. September marks the 20th year anniversary of the Max Red Line. It was the first train-to-plane connection on the West Coast. It was born from a unique partnership between three public agencies, TriMet, the City of Portland, and the Port of Portland, and private partner Bechtel Corporation. Bechtel is the company behind the Cascade area, a bustling retail area just down the line from here. With this public-private partnership, the construction from what was dubbed Airport Max moved fast. A public commute committee gave the project the nod in 1998, and construction commenced in June 1999. The line opened just 2 years in September 2001. The Max line has served our region well past over the decades. And now we are looking forward to a better red, one that serves more stations, giving more people a one-seat ride to PDX, adds capacity on board in a growing job center of Washington County, and move trains more efficiently, reducing delays throughout the Max Light Rail system. While we may not be able to see all of your smiling faces today, we feel your support, your appreciation, and your enthusiasm for better red. During this pivotal time in American history, the Biden-Harris administration and the U.S. Department of Transportation, under the Secretary's direction, are focused on investments in infrastructure projects such as this one. Projects that improve safety, promote equity, combat climate change, and create jobs. A better red will put people to work. Once completed, it will take people to jobs, to education, to community services, to recreation, tourist attractions, and destinations throughout the world. And they will be able to do that on a light rail system now powered by 100% renewable electricity. Administrator Fernandez knows well that transit equals sustainability, and that making it easier to take transit rather than driving requires investments in more and better transit services. It is my pleasure now to welcome up to the podium Administrator Fernandez.
Good rainy morning to all of you, and thank you, Sam. On behalf of Secretary Pete Buttigieg and the Biden-Harris administration, I am really pleased to be with you here in Portland as you officially break ground on the Max Red Line Extension and Reliability Improvement Project, the Better Red Project. I am so pleased to join Portland City Commissioner Hardesty, Washington County Commissioner Phi, and Curtis Robinhold, Executive Director of the Port of Portland, as well as many elected, appointed officials and those representing members of Congress who have worked tirelessly for years to make today possible. I also want to recognize you, Sam, as the TriMet General Manager. You have done a great job here. We greatly appreciate your work to bring this important project across the finish line. And I want to acknowledge FTA Region 10 Administrator Linda Gerke and her excellent staff. for leading the great work for federal transit programs in Oregon. So I'm excited to be here at the Max Red Line groundbreaking to support TriMet's Better Red project. This work is kicking off today, and it will begin to respond to the demand for more light rail service by extending the Max Red Line 10 stations into Hillsboro and improving public transportation throughout Portland. We at FTA are very proud to be partners in Oregon to support the Better Red project with, as Sam mentioned, nearly $100 million capital investment. Portland residents have been asking for more light rail service, and in a few years, they will be able to ride the Red Line from Hillsboro to the Portland International Airport, a one-seat ride. And with new southbound access to the Gateway Transit Center, where we stand today, the Red Line will provide a seamless connection to the blue and green lines, creating the opportunity for riders to easily reach destinations throughout the region. This will improve access to all Portland has to offer without having to set a foot in a car, helping reduce carbon emissions and creating a more equitable transit network. This is so important because we want to make sure that everyone has an equal opportunity at getting where they need to go. So while groundbreakings command a lot of attention, and this one would not be the least, it's also important to focus on the capacity and state of good repair of the investments that you all have made together with the federal government over the years. So I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to TriMet for committing to upgrade the transit system by undertaking track, switch, and signalization work and adding a second set of tracks in 2 sections. These benefits will provide a ripple throughout the entire MAX system. So whenever we improve service, we create a positive feedback loop by encouraging more people to ride. So in addition, the Better Red project is expected to spur economic development and create approximately 1,200 jobs. And TriMet has set a goal of awarding 20% of the construction projects to businesses that are owned by women and people of color under the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program. Thank you. This project is an excellent example of an infrastructure investment that will improve access and mobility for thousands of people in the Portland area. So President Biden and Secretary Buttigieg are hoping to support more transformational investments just as this one, as they work with Congress to pass more funding under the Infrastructure Investments and Jobs Act this week. We are all hoping. This is truly an inflection time for our nation's public transportation systems. The legislation includes $550 billion in new federal investments in America's infrastructure. And this level of investment is important because the transit industry will receive almost $90 billion of those dollars in guaranteed funding that will be the most significant federal support for transit in our nation's history. This proposed funding is not just an abstract number. When we look at funding in public transportation, we see improvement to people's lives throughout the nation, including in Oregon, and improve the state of good repair of transit investments so that they can last for many more decades to come. We have experienced so many challenges over the last 18 months, loss of lives, livelihood, and loss of ridership. But I see a path forward, a very bright path, if we invest in systems that help Americans live well and create millions of good-paying jobs. I am optimistic, and I hope you are too, that together we can work to meet President Biden's goals to build back better and stronger. And I will look forward to coming back sometime in 2024 to ride the Red Line with you. Thank you.
Thank you again, Administrator Fernandez. We are honored to have you here, and we so appreciate the support of the FTA. A Better Red will add a second set of tracks to the red line here in the Gateway area and up near Portland International Airport. That will help keep trains moving, not just on the MAX line, but throughout the MAX system. That means a Better Red will make transit a better option than driving. Each time someone leaves their car at home for a shared ride on transit, it's better for our environment. That's critical as our region takes action against climate change. I can't think of no greater climate champion than Commissioner Joanne Hardesty, who oversees the Portland Bureau of Transportation. Commissioner Hardesty, come on up.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. What a fabulously Portland day we're in. As the Transportation Commissioner for the City of Portland, I am so pleased to be here today to welcome Administrator Fernandez to our city. Portland is known as the City of Roses. We are known worldwide for innovation in transportation and as a leading city in using transportation and land use planning to reduce carbon emissions. It is so wonderful now that we have a leader in the White House who believes in science and will serve as a strong partner in the City of Portland's effort to reduce carbon emissions. Thanks to federal support and local community commitment, Portland has been a leader in national movements to reduce carbon emissions by making it easier for people to walk, bike, and take public transit. We are looking forward to federal support to help us go even further. To help us use public transit to ensure that everyone has access to housing, jobs, and regardless of race or income. Oh, darn it. Let's see. Messed up my pages there. Give me a sec. And regardless of race or income, basically is what I was going to say. In 1993, the City of Portland was the first city in the United States to set a goal for reducing carbon emissions. We were the first city in the nation to build a modern streetcar line exactly 20 years ago. For decades, we have had the highest rate of bicycle commuting of any major city in America. This innovation has inspired other cities, and it continues to inspire generations of Portlanders today, who set their sights even higher. Without a doubt, federal support for our major infrastructure projects is critical to the livability of the Portland area. Today, we gather to celebrate the latest example of major public transit project with federal support. So on behalf of the City of Portland, I sincerely thank you, Administrator Fernandez, and the FTA for supporting the Better Red project. Let me go off script for a moment. This is my neighborhood, my community, and there's nothing more fun than getting off an airplane and getting on a MAX train and going home. Today, I have to take 2 MAX trains to do that, right? When we complete the Better Red line, I will have a straight shot to the airport with my luggage. That means I'm not using automobiles, mine or anyone else's, to actually get to the airport when I want to travel. This is a community of working class people that need access all over. I am so happy personally, not only with the federal government support and my community partners, I am happy because this community is being recognized as the epicenter of equity, working class families who are trying to do the right thing to rebuild. This is going to help us in our recovery because our community has to see that there's a vision for living wage jobs, transit improvements, and reducing our emissions in the City of Portland. I'm committed to it. I know the mayor of the city of Portland's committed to it. I know Sam's committed to it. And I know the secretary's committed to it. And with all our community partners, this is the beginning, because honestly, this is a once-in-a-generation opportunity for us to build our infrastructure so that we are doing exactly what we say we want to do, right? We want to build to reduce the climate change that is impacting our day-to-day life. We want to make sure that everyone has access to good living wage jobs, right? This is how we get there. So together with the federal government, with our community partners, and with all of us joining together and saying, we are building for the future. We're building for our grandchildren. What we're doing today, our grandchildren will benefit from, and it is about building a climate-friendly, equitable transit system for us all. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Sam. I am so grateful for this partnership. They can't tell politicians to stay on script all the time, right?
Thank you, Commissioner Hardesty. Thank you very much for that. We would like to say that Mike's Red Line can get you to Hawaii, points east, and anywhere in the world. It's a convenient way to get to Portland International Airport for those trips and brings visitors into the Portland area. We at TriMet appreciate our partnerships with the Port of Portland. Together, our efforts will make the experience for travelers and employees even alike. I would like to now introduce to you Curtis Robinhole. Curtis is the executive director of the Port of Portland, which operates PDX, recently recognized by Travel and Leisure magazine as the best airport in the United States. And I could not agree more. Curtis, come on up.
Thank you, Sam. It's really, I want to just start by saying it's really an honor to be up here on stage with these leaders. This is a real treat for me, and want to thank you for the opportunity. I also want to note I'm a big Timbers fan, so I'm accustomed to trying to speak over yelling. That's what I do. So first, thank you, Sam. Really appreciate your introduction. You're right. PDX has once again been named the best airport in America, and it's the 8th time we've gotten the award. And as everyone here knows, the reason we get that award is that PDX really represents what is important to people here in the region. It's about local flavors, and it's about access. It's about ease and sound and artists and community. And so this connection, the Red Line connection to PDX, is really important to us. It's a big part of what this community stands for and what we stand for at PDX. And transit connectivity, as Sam, I believe, mentioned at the outset, really began in 2001 with the plane-to-train partnership, TriMet, and the port in the city. And that is really just continuing and growing. 20 years later, our partnership continues to grow, and I'm really optimistic and hopeful as we undergo about a $2 billion construction project out at PDX that this connectivity will build on what we're doing out at PDX and will increase those connections for people who work at PDX, who fly from PDX. And I have to say, not just riders, I believe, Sam, as you call them, we call them passengers, we call them colleagues, we also call them employees, and this connectivity is going to be a really important part of our future. I do want to note, as Commissioner Hardesty mentioned, this project is not just about rail. It's also, when it's completed, it will include pedestrian and bike access to the airport, which, as many of you know, is very important, in particular to our employee base and to relatively tepid bike riders like myself, for whom right now the trip is somewhat challenging. It's really going to improve that trip and make even better connections for people who live here. Fundamentally, it's about serving our community and about increasing prosperity for everyone in the region. And so with that, Sam and fellow panelists up here, thank you very much for your time. I look forward to breaking ground over here.
Thank you, Executive Director Robin Hull, or Curtis. Appreciate it. We are standing here at the Future Gateway right now, from PDX to Portland and a wider region. So I ask all of you to please join me in a countdown to drop the curtain that's off to our left here, the red curtain here. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This will be the site of the new Gateway North Station, being built to create a more efficient ride as people head from the airport into downtown and the west side. With all of the improvements underway here and the Portland Better Ed, more improvements in the form of more service are coming to the west side. With the Max Red Line extended into Hillsboro, we will add 4 brand new trains, light rail vehicles, to accommodate that extra service. Washington County Commissioner Nafisa Faye knows people rely on good transit to get to work, services, and recreation. And a better transit brings even more opportunity for our community. Commissioner, come on up.
Hello, everyone. Let me take my mask off as well. Good morning, everyone. It's great to see you. I'm here today. Talk about connectivity. Thank you for bringing us here, Sam. I don't remember the last time I've been this far into Portland, so thank you. I am from Washington County. I live in Aloha, so I think it's expected that. Absolutely. I'm here today in Northeast Portland celebrating the regional benefits of a better red. The Washington County Board of Commissioners and I especially are excited about the benefits to the west side, whose residents we represent. And especially for me as a commissioner who's been appointed to the JPAC and is also the representative for WCCC, I'm really excited applying equity and centering equity in transportation. The extension of the Max Red Line by the 10 stations into Hillsboro will provide more reliable, frequent regional connections to serve our growing workforce and residential development. These connections include one-seat rides for more people to PDX, running airport to airport from Portland Airport to the Hillsboro Airport. And I know Hillsboro Mayor Steve Calloway is here. We're especially excited about this extension to the Fair Complex station, which will connect to our beautiful new Wingspan Event and Conference Center, another destination for people around the region and the county. A Better Red will support the climate change initiatives that are a priority for both Washington County and the region. By extending the route, reducing overcrowding on the Blue Line, and improving reliability, more people will be able to reach their destinations without cars. We know that expansion in public transportation are especially important to people who struggle to find affordable, convenient housing near employment areas, shopping, medical services, and recreation. So Washington County, the Red Line expansion is more than an investment to us in transportation. It's an investment in creating safer, healthier, and more livable, connected communities. Thank you so much, and we look forward to partnering. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Faye. And thank you all for being here with us this morning. You've heard all about the benefits coming with a better red, extended service in the Hillsboro, improvements to the customer experience here at the Gateway Transit Center and at Portland's award-winning airport. Added track that will keep trains rolling on the red line and increase reliability throughout our MAX system. We could not do this without the generous funding from our Federal Transit Administration, as well as the support from the Oregon Congressional Delegation and all of our local and state partners. Thank you again for being here with us. Now it's time for the project to get rolling. I would like to ask a few friends to join us in the groundbreaking of A Better Red. Lynn Peterson, President of Metro, which oversees planning for our region's transportation and land use. Steve Calloway, Mayor of Hillsboro, which will be the new western end of the MAX line. Dr. Linda Simmons, the first woman to lead TriMet's Board of Directors. Linda Gerke, our region's FTA administrator, who has been a steadfast partner with TriMet and multiple transit projects. Ryan Winsheimer, the Oregon's Department of Transportation, which provides safety oversight for our rail services. And Ted Willer, Mayor of Portland. Please join Administrator Fernandez, Commissioners Hardesty, Phi, Executive Director Robin Hole, and me at the north end of the stage. We will fittingly break ground on A Better Red. Thank you.
Thank you. Great job, Sam.
I like it. Let's talk.
I want.
Everybody's welcome to join us for red refreshments and more coffee over here under the tent.